Notice how everybody's putting their hands just like this, right? That's a natural position the way you wanted to put it there, correct? There's not one person that put their hands inverted like this. But this is the standard traditional cutter that you're used to, correct?
Right. Yep.
Yep. Because it's out there in the market, it's the only thing we know, that's where we go to, all right? This is a weird looking cutter, but it's the better cutter because it's putting my hand in the natural setting I would place on the table. See that? My hands are this. So now no carpal issues, no fatiguing, no arthritic conditions, anything like that, tendonitis. All that stuff is alleviated when you use a cutter that's in a correct setting, an ergonomic setting, right? So this cutter's helping me glide on a mat, not dive into a mat with like a glorified pizza cutter style. That's what it is, a glorified pizza cutter. All right, it is. I mean, think about it. I mean, we may laugh about it. It's just a stick with a wheel. I mean, you can cut pizza with it. You can cut pizza with this too, though. Really good too. Side note. So this is my 45. There's a rubber strip on here. I always like to go over it real quick. I know I don't take much time at a trade show to go over a cutter because it's a $25 item and we got to go through a lot of things. There's a rubber strip on the back of this. This is how you open it up. This is the only pressure needed to open this up. Just roll forward. You hear this click? Click. That means I'm engaged, I'm open, it's not gonna close on me. The way I close it is I use my middle finger. Just don't point it at nobody. And then you can shut it down. So open it, shut it, okay? So that's it. That's as easy as it gets. And like I always tell everybody, I want you to start cutting from your hip. All right, from your side of your body. Your arms on this side, right? We didn't get arms built in the middle of our bodies. So why cut in the middle of our bodies? But we do. You know why you cut in the middle of your bodies? Because you're holding on. Yeah. Okay? You've got tools that slip and slide, or you're so fearful that it's going to slip and slide. How many of us cut, stop, get ahead of the cut, hold down again, and go again? The cut, stop. All right? It's that staggered cut. What you're going to see here today is that none of those cuts are going to be like that ever. Never, ever am I going to have a position where I'm going to have to stop and do it. I'm always going to stay fluid. I'm going to have one true line. And that's a lot easier. What's the number one thing we want to be when we're cutting?
Accurate.
Oh, right there. Good job. Good hands, cowboy fans right here. I'll believe me, I'm not going to say the other one. I almost got ran out of this place when I said, "Oh, what are you, Patriots?" What are you, Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Too soon?
No.
Good riddance?
Nope. No.
Love?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tom Brady, man, he's the best. He's the best ever. I mean, I gotta say that.
Yeah,
All right.
I know.
So, where was I at?
Accuracy.
Y'all jump me off of the accuracy, right? So that's what we're going to provide for you. We're going to provide accuracy. We can actually cut out 100% accurate quilt, all right, without taking a single measurement. All right, makes sense. Or sounds great. Let's start. So here's what we're going to do. I've already taken care of your hands. We've already corrected hands. Okay, I've got you in a proper posture to cut. I want you to cut from the side. Anybody ever started doing a project, started cutting, all of a sudden they feel like they ran over something, they feel a skip in their blade? Everybody's experienced that, right? You can't find the pin, can't find the needle, can't find something that you may have run over, can you? But you know you've ran something over because it's got a skip in it. Here's the problem in that. It's actually, you didn't run anything over, you flexed your blade. Okay? You've put so much pressure on that blade that it's flexed, and now it's permanently flexed. You can't see it with the human eye that it's flexed. You can put it down on there and it would still look flat as ever, but it is flexed. And every time you hit that flex is a skip. And it's because of this and this. Agree that if we're holding this hard, we're cutting equally as hard. Correct? So we want to get you out of that, because I'm on my tippy toes trying to hold on right now, and I'm not holding anything, but I'm seeing what everybody does. I want everybody to stay squared up the entire time. So now we're going to start having fun. Here's one of our strip rulers. This is our 24-inch no slip strip ruler. Say that 10 times. You ain't. All right, we make our tools out of ABS material. That's a styrene material. It's not going to fall off your table, chip on the corners, shave off on the sides. Here's a lot of the reasons why y'all tend to shy away on an edge. Am I fair about saying that too? your blade is tilted a little bit off that edge so you don't shave off. Well, what you're doing is you're creating the bottom layer shorter than the top. Okay? And it may be just a little bit, but if you've got a lot of stuff going on you're putting together and piecing together, that is a lot of fudging at the end. All right? And we're trying to stay away from that. Who's here familiar with this backing? Because we're about to get real now. All right, so Linda knows everything, by the way.
You don't.
Carol knows everything. Anybody who works here has got everything. So, this backing it broke us out. Okay, this was a game changer. The cutter was as well, but when you can match tools together, it changes things. This is a soft kind of cork felt foam kind of infusion, all put together. Once it touches a surface, it won't move. Okay? This is what we're used to. Or this is what we're used to hold on. And then that dog ear happens, right? This is what happens when you use a Martelli tool. Nothing. It's a comfort cut. So let's cut something. Who here, raise your hand, loves doing bias? Liar, liar, liar. Liars. That's just stop. Don't. You ain't impressing anybody by saying it.
It's satisfying. I'll give you all
You
mine.
sound like the YouTube guys.
It's so satisfying.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a bias. It's those of you who truly understand that it is a finicky cut. All right. In fact, most of us in the area, what I found out, tend to stay away from it. Don't do it at all. Have avoided that cut, period. All right. Here's how you do it. All you got to do is just square it up on a 45-degree line, right? Point to point on your line. Major strip sizes on it. It's got 2.5, 2 1/4, 1 5/8, 1 1.5, a 3 1/4, a 5 1/4, and a 4. Repeat that.
Right.
Fair enough. Good job. Truth is truth. All right, so all we're doing, so what we do, I'm going to cut out a 1-inch bias for you right there. There's my cut groove. Obviously, you know where I'm cutting inside of, right? But what we do is when we cut these out, we cut them with lasers. I mentioned that we had 3 or 4 laser machines in our shop. There's a line that lasered up all the way to the edge right here, okay? You may not can see it in the back, but it is a lasered line. You can kind of see it right here. So all I need to know, and we're going to talk about the mat later, because this is how it helps measure and you can see through things. You're going to use your mat. You're finally going to use a mat to measure with, okay? Finally. I'm going to take this line right here and put that line on the 45. And the only other thing I got to do is match that line, right? So line to line, easy enough. But now instead of working around that, remember the backing, right? Now I get to bring it to me. Yeah, shut the front door. There is nothing going to be lost. You can bump, you can bump your tool, you've never lost your measurement. You're allowing your tools now to work around you instead of you working around the tools. I'm going to take my rotary cutter. I'm going to open it up. Don't start cutting before you open it up. Okay, you're going to get halfway through the fabric. You're like, well, I missed half of it. Open it up. All right, so we're open. When's the last time you cut a strip, let alone a bias, did not hold the ruler?
Never.
No? Okay, I figured. And then you got that. Okay, unstretched. Rick?
Can you do multiple layers?
Okay, good question. Raise your hand if you do 2 layers at least. Yeah, that's everybody, right? 4, keep them up. 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, because you can get 12 underneath these. Okay? How many layers will your cutters cut, basically? 10. No, I mean pure and crisp.
Like a cutter?
Like, yeah, your pizza cutter.
Okay, no, I thought you meant like a machine.
Oh, no, we're not talking industrial cutting.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that I-
Gosh, what do you-
That's what I think.
I don't have that here.
Not yet.
Okay, this is 4 layers right here, okay? Right? We're good with math, right? 4? What's this? Okay, all right, good. We're on the same page. What's this? There we go. What's this?
32.
Okay. Is anybody gonna cut 32 layers anyway? And is anybody gonna get it that clean?
Wow.
Okay, let's just go one more. I mean, nothing's torn. We're not ripping. A lot of us are ripping, right? How many of you try to get that last little life out of that blade? Oh, you knew what? Before I even said it. Look at it. I knew you could. You go, oh crap, he's looking at me too. How many of you try to get that last little roll out of that blade? You want to know why? One, you're killing your mat. Okay, your blade is trashed. So why ruin a mat for a $5 blade? Okay? Now, I'm talking about any mat, right? Now, we're going to go over my mat and how dynamic it is and how better it is than anything else. But please, please, please throw your blades away. It's not worth it. Okay? It's just not worth it. I'm going to get one more. Don't, because all you're doing is, what do you tend to do more if your blade is
Push it harder.
push it harder? Stop. Okay? This is a tungsten blade. This is going to last 3 to 5 times longer than any blade you've ever played with. Or y'all know that have this cutter. You know you don't have that much pressure anymore on it. You don't have to kill. It didn't take me a lot of pressure to get through 32 layers. Here's all the pressure in the world. This is 3 or 4 layers that you'll ever need. That's it. Okay?
My question was about, does the little mat hold it 3 or 4 layers?
So, okay, that's a good question.
That was my question, actually. It wasn't specific enough.
No, you were not. So
I'm never gonna see a prize.
this is a livelier class. I'll tell you that. Okay, so except for that, except for him. All right, so the question was the mat. There's a grit on our mat, and I'll go ahead and just tell you, there is a grit in the mat. Yes, these guys right here, they're best friends. I can promise you, look, these are what's that, 20, 30 layers, right? It's gonna hold any amount of layers you give this, okay? A plastic and acrylic side won't hold anything, all right? But that's helping, because if you put that on your mat, or anybody that's not a Martelli, I'm never gonna guarantee that. I will never guarantee it because I don't know how slick it is. I don't know which model it is. There's a lot of mats that are too soft. Have you ever gone dive into your mat and felt like it puncturing? You feel it like it's going in it sometimes because those are softer mats. And then there are too hard of mats, right? You don't want, this is kind of a middle blend. This is kind of a 3/4 hard mat that you want more of a harder mat, not a softer mat. Softer mat dulls blades quickly. Okay, any questions? Yes?
I have a question. Your mats in the pad you were showing, does your stuff all line up measurement-wise? Because my mat,
Yes.
and one of the rulers I was working with, I was trying to measure them up. There was a 1/2 inch difference and I didn't even realize it. So I was cutting my fabric a 1/2 inch shorter than I was supposed to.
Here's the thing, and Carol, we went over this last
I
time,
apologize.
last class. And we're getting ahead, but we'll go ahead and answer your question. The problem with in the industry on some of the mats that are out there, okay? And I'm not here to name names, that's not what I'm here for, okay? And you'll never hear me. I don't need to sell my products by knocking others, okay? There's no reason to do that, and if you ever hear of a brand doing it, you probably shouldn't do business with them, okay? But there are mats out there, like you said, their lines are too thick, and it's causing you to get a 1/4 off after 3 or 4 cuts, okay? And that's what you're talking about. And because you can't use it and it's not true. We use this and it costs a lot more money to do now. So we have a 1/16 of an inch of a line. When you see a ruler measurement on here, it's a 1/16 of an inch and it matches this.
Thank you.
Yep, so that's a great question, by the way. All right, so moving on. All right, so templates. All right, we went over templates last class. Who here loves doing templates? Love-hate relationship in them, really. And the reason is, a good answer, by the way. Everybody's being really, I'm not gonna bark at you, I promise. It's just her, okay?
But you're saving the best for last.
Yes.
She's probably gonna get the best prize.
I know. She probably will. I'll love her for life. She'll be a groupie. Okay, so bring a few layers over here. All right, so when we're talking about a template, okay, we can custom make any template that you want. We have the standards though, okay? So your squares, circles, triangles, all that stuff, hexagons, we have all the standard stuff. Problem is that I don't want you working around your templates. So when you have something to cut, you say you need 50 blocks to cut out. I don't want you to have to cut something and then have to work around the cut or walk around your table to get so you don't make sure that it moves, right? We use these as lazy Susans, okay? So now you have perfect every single time, all right? And then there's that, right? So we don't want to waste, right? So what we do is who's here fussy cutting a lot? We love fussy cuts, everybody? Yeah? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Yes. Of course.
Who here doesn't know what a fussy cut is? Thank you. Okay, well, I should have ended that because I was like, I was eyeballing you for a second. Yeah. All right, fussy cutting is basically I want a certain design out of a certain area, right? So let's say, all right, I've got a jersey that was made for me, or a memory quilt, and we all know how special those are. It's very special to me. I played baseball for over 30 years, professionally in college, all that stuff. All my number 7s are on one quilt. And it's, it makes me feel nice. So when they're trying to get that number 7 out, or I need just that L, I want to fussy cut that out, okay? So say this is a certain floral pattern or something like that, and I need just that edge right there, and I want to pinpoint it. The problem with fussy cuts that are out there is that they give you a fussy cut and they expect a round rotary blade to go in the corner, okay? And it's just not, it's not going to work out very well in your favor, all right? Sometimes they try to put overcuts in them, then you're overcutting your fabric and wasting. All right, so let's say that's what I need. I get to frame what I want with this fussy cut window that I just showed you. Frame it, and then I just replace it with that. I know exactly what's underneath that because I framed it with that. Okay, and that's our fussy cutting, and then you can get to work again and start cutting that and letting it turn, not work around it. Okay, remember, we're having tools work around us, not us work around tools. All right, next. What are we trying to cater to though, honestly? Did you say ergonomics?
Yeah, knees.
You get half of it because you got half right. Finally. Okay. Who loves doing circles here? I mean, is there any true circle lovers in here? Okay. This is a truthful class, and I enjoy that. I appreciate the truthfulness. Here's an easy way to do a circle. I just folded a square into quarters. On the folded edge, I'm gonna put the point on the folded edge, okay? So I'm gonna take that. Remember how this traps fabric down. Remember what I told you about the mat, right? That grit. So I've got full control of my fabric. So I'm gonna move the template, not my cutter. Here's a bad thing when you get on your mat and you try to do, curvatures and stuff. You need to use a 28mm cutter if you're gonna do curvatures. All right, 45s and up, you're gonna gouge that mat and you're gonna wonder why your mat's not self-healing and all this stuff. Mats are traditionally meant to be linear, okay? So with that being said, I've got a tool now that's gonna keep this circle cut in a straight line, okay? So I'm gonna pick a line, just, whatever line, and then I'm just gonna roll straight and turn the template. And then I've got my circle. And my reverse applique. So both are going to come at you. So like I tell everybody, if I can do this, I'm a jock in the quilting industry. If I can cut a circle out, guess who can cut a circle out, right? You're much more knowledgeable with this than I am. It's just working the tools, letting them work around you. The good thing that we do is we see outside the box. We talked about this last class. We see outside the box. I don't. Mr. Martelli sees outside the box. He's a genius. And so he sees what you guys need, and he hasn't quilted a day in his life. But you need that person that's not always stuck in their way, that's always driven one way to do that, okay? So that's what we've done. All right, moving along. Going over circles. Now, over here, what you're looking at over here is I'm putting these back, but you notice there's triangles here too, right? So none of our tools are meant to be just for one thing. All right, I want you to see the triangles. That's great. Cut those triangles out, but cut on a fold and you've got perfect 60-degree diamond pattern. Okay? You've got circles here, sure, but you've got drunkard's path here too. Okay? And then your squares can double as a rectangle as well on when you're cutting on the fold. All right, moving along to this ruler. This one has a little bit of history with me because, like last time I told last class, this is my wife handed me this ruler. about 8, 9, 10 years ago before I started, she's like, hey, can you cut me 2.5-inch strips? And I go, what? And she goes, do it real quick. I got to get some other things done, but can you cut them? It's super easy. Just get it. And it was. So I cut 2.5-inch strips. And she told me I was only going to do it once. What did that really mean? The rest of my God-given life is what I'm going to do. So I've got that now. That's my job. So that being said, this is a wonderful strip ruler. This is a 1/2-inch strip ruler. What's the number one strip we're going to do most of the time for our bindings? 2.5, right? We do have 2 1/4s that, you know, people do 2 1/4s and all that good stuff, and that's fine. That's where this strip ruler comes in for you as well. I've got 2 1/4 and 2.5 in this one. All right. So this one's 1/2-inch. Here's the great thing about this. This one's volume, efficiency, and accuracy all balled into one. And the reason is because I've got a lot of work to do with this. All right. So here's a 2-inch section, but there's a half. There's my 2.5-inch strip, right? Am I done? No. Do another and another and another. And what did I not have to do? Move the ruler. Okay? So I'm allowing the tools to work around me again instead of me working around the tools. But here's another way to work this. And this was kind of an eye-opener for the last one. But it's an eye-opener anyway because it's going to be awesome. Okay, so I'm just measuring off one line or just creating a one area for me. So I'm just going to see how the flexibility is right here. It's flexible. Okay, that allows me to peel it down to get it more perfection. Super rigid, you don't want that because it pops off and sometimes you're gonna get a static line, you lose your measurement underneath, okay? So I get to just feel that and then I get to just peel it down. I know I'm perfect, okay? Just a little shave off, little to no waste at all. And then I'm gonna cut 1-inch strips right here. I've got 4, 5, 6 layers under there, I don't know. What am I not doing? Okay. Remember how I told you that I'm going to take care of your back, your neck, your shoulders, and your hands? The hands are taken care of, right? I'm just gliding on top of my mat. I'm not having to force feed it down in an awkward angle. If I'm not holding on for dear life with this shoulder right here, am I taking care of my shoulders too? Yeah. Okay? Or if I do hold it, I'm still squared up while holding it. So I'm literally just naturally holding it with a couple of fingers. It's none of this. And what else I told you? Fluid cut, right? No stopping. I don't want you to have to stop. That decreases accuracy. All right, so I just did 1-inch strips. I'm going to turn it. What's not happening when I turn it?
It's not moving.
It's not moving. There's no layer slipping from underneath. And that's what we want, right? Because this is a dual purpose ruler as well. Okay, so we got a customer in Columbus, Ohio. Her name's Elaine. Like, I'll never forget her, you know I won't. Just like I never forget Linda. She did 40,000 1-inch squares to finish 1/2-inch. What is she?
Crazy.
I didn't say it. They said it. But you're along those lines. Now, she did Abraham Lincoln on a postage stamp. Black, gray, and white were the only colors used. Absolutely ridiculous. If you've ever seen it on a display, maybe you have. I don't know if you have.
I think I saw it a while ago.
It's traveled the entire country. Okay. She used every single one of those on this tool right here. She cut every single one of those, and every single part of that was done on this system here. So we're talking about show quality, right? And she's not the person that's going to be. She doesn't care to be show quality. You know, it's not like that's not her. She just used the right tools. Now, God forbid finishing that, but. So, here what I did. All I did is line it up on a line. What you're going to see is 1-inch strips going this way. I'm going to peel up. I'm going to hold down at the bottom. And I'm going to peel up. Notice that nothing's moving, nothing's moved, strip. Anywhere, just nothing. Couldn't get the right word out on that one. Usually good with my words. Nothing. That's all I could come up with. Jeez. All right, now I'm going to come back around. You see what's happening here. I'm going to get a few hundred squares done in about 30 seconds. And there you go. And that's 4 or 5 layers apiece. And that's all that took, was just no time, no holding, no pressure. So when you're talking about 40,000 cutting, y'all finish them, but we can cut them down anyway. But I'll pick one of those out. That is 100% accuracy without holding a ruler at all. Like not 99.9. That's dead on. And the reason why is a big reason. I didn't explain this to last class. Maybe I did. Do you see anything through this ruler?
No.
What does that mean? For a prize.
It's bigger cat. Wobble.
No wobble. That's the same. Who hadn't got a prize yet out of these three?
Oh,
You have one?
no.
You have one?
Nope.
Dang it. Good hands. Good hands. We got some cowboys in here.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So that's called basically what you said. There's no wobble. There's zero tolerance. Okay? There's tools out there that you can use that you stick your rotary blade into the slot and you feel the toggle. How is that accurate? You see what I'm saying? That means it's got a gap. Okay? That means it's got a gap. So that's not going to be accurate if you can feel any toggle. My blade actually has to stretch this open when it goes into it. Okay? So that means it's 100% accurate going through. That's why every one of those little bitty squares, you can do 1 inch square correct, you can do anything correct. All right, so moving along. Any questions? Yes?
I have another system, but I've also taken little gouges out of the slot. Will that gouge? No. Good answer.
That would be,
Next.
That would be a no.
You couldn't gouge this if you, I'm trying to get, now I'm literally bending my blade right now. I cannot if I wanted to. And this is the beautiful thing about it. It's forcing me to go straight and it's gonna stay.
Wow.
Okay? So it's gonna go wherever you want it. And it's not gonna roll up off of you either. So you notice me when I was coming back towards myself, that's a big no-no. It is, but I feel completely safe because I have to pull straight up to get out. So that's how safe that is, okay? Yes, and another question was asked last class. I'll go ahead and answer it for you this time. This is not gonna fit your normal cutters, okay? This is not gonna fit. This got the depth for it. The other cutters won't. So don't come back to me, Brian, I bought this wonderful tool, but I used my Olfa cutter in there or whatever, cutter fiskars or whatever it is, and it couldn't get it because the depth's not there. Those cutters weren't made for that, okay? Yes, sir.
Question, for the lefties that are out there, is it the same accurate as for the right?
That's a lefty cutter for lefty cutters only. This is a righty cutter just for righty cutters. We take care of the lefties just as their own. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Designated cutter just for your left hand. That's it. No one else can use it if they're right-handed.
Is that
Just like you lefties have to use it for the right-handed cutters, right? No one adjusts to you guys. Well, we do. Okay, we make a designated cutter for left and a designated cutter for the right. And like I told everybody, you get real good at it. You get real good at it. All right, so that's those, okay?
You just fold you with the fabric and if you.
Yeah, okay, so same question was asked again. All right, so on those rulers, right, they're 24 inches long, but the cut length is about 18. So yes, your fold is gonna have to come over one more time, but just to show you, so like off the bolt, we already have it folded, right? So it's off the bolt, just clean a good edge off. And then let's say that's there. Just take your remember I told you there's a peel down. Pinch it down towards the bubble, okay? Not towards you. You want it towards this way so that pinch gets right there in that groove, okay? And then once it touches it, I don't care where it's at, it's not going anywhere. So don't feel like it's gonna shift like that, it will not. Once again though, I cannot promise that on a mat for this bottom layer though. On mine, I 100% promise it every single time. But I can't tell you if that's slick mat, and there's slick, really slick mats out there. I can't, it probably will, but I'm never gonna guarantee that. Okay, moving along. Questions?
Does your cutter take its own blade or can you use?
Yes, this is a Martelli blade.
So it's proprietary.
Okay.
Proprietary.
And this is
blade.
probably turn this off. No, I'm kidding. Don't turn this off. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. If you've got an Olfa cutter, what blade should you probably use?
Also,
No, that size, just an alpha cutter.
Yeah.
Say a 45 alpha, what blade should you use? Alpha. If you've got a Fisker's cutter, 45, what should you use? Probably should, right? If you've got a Martelli blade cutter, Martelli. That's what I tell everybody, and I don't care how it drives my company insane for me to tell that. Because we are a universal blade, yes. But alpha will destroy this cutter because of the notches that are in the middle at alpha. That's a saw blade on my cutter. Okay, so that's why I just say, just to keep it easy with everybody and not try to just win one over for some blades. I'm not trying to do that. Stay brand specific. If this cutter doesn't work for you because something's wrong with you, then just go to a different brand. I'm gonna get to the good stuff now. Believe me, I don't start with the best stuff first. All right, so we ready?
Yep.
Who here has this mat? I know. You're out. All right. This makes me happy that y'all don't have this mat because you're gonna get to learn about it. A lot of people just see it and you don't take time to figure out what this mat's all about. This mat is the best mat on the market. Am I biased?
Sure.
Yes.
I hope so.
But I'm being for real. Watch. For a prize, you're out. You're out. Everybody over there is out.
Oh.
Double-sided.
Tell me why that is two different colors.
So you can see different, for different purposes?
What?
For different purposes, like different fabrics, different
Oh.
measurements? Oh, please don't throw, I don't want anyone to get hit.
Everybody in the
No!
front row second.
Carol, watch out. Those are scissors.
Yeah.
Running with scissors.
Hey, from what I
Class.
understand, we were always taught not to run with scissors. You didn't say anything about throwing them.
That's right. Don't run with them. Throw them all you want. All right. There's a reason why we do two colors. If you didn't hear, color contrast. Okay? If everybody went to the other side of the building, I held this up like this, you would see the blue on top of this yellow. Remember what I told you about how true my mat is? Somebody asked a question about lines and how they're off. You did. Yes, right. Since we have a 100% accurate mat, 100, not 99.9, 100% accurate mat, that means I can measure on my mat, meaning I don't need to see through a ruler every time I do a cut. Okay? I physically can put the fabric or the material that I'm going to use, and I already pull my lines out when I'm putting it on, because you can see the contrast in it. Like I use in the purple side today because I've got lighter color fabric. I've got white. White, light color fabrics are used on the purple side. You have two mats in one. Okay? It's not just, a lot of people are like, Brian, I've loved my mat so much, it's last 10 years. I haven't even flipped it over yet. Well, it's not like it's a run and then the next day, yeah, it's not like, we want you to flip it for what your project is calling for. Because that's when you get the full use of everything that we do here. Like I said, if you'll allow me to show you this, I can change the way you do it, and it's not a whole new system you're learning. It's not reinventing the wheel. I always say it's not reinventing the wheel. It's just making that wheel spin a lot smoother, okay? These are creature comforts for you, and they're awesome. Now, you don't have this mat, but I want each and every single one of you to go home, take that mat, and do this with it on the corner. Okay, so two-sided mat, right? Okay, for a prize, here's another one. Get ready, get ready, get it ready. Those who have won one though, you're out.
You're
Can you
out.
upgrade if you want? Like if you have something else, you want a pair of scissors instead?
Holy, in the history of giving free stuff away, no one's ever said, can I upgrade a freebie? Sure. I mean, if you don't ask, you don't know, and I gotta appreciate it. Yeah,
You wanted us better than
very,
the first class.
it's a fantastic question. I mean,
You said
something
you
that,
wanted us better than the first
it's almost
class.
something that I would say. Okay, why would I do 26 by 38 on a map? 26 by 38.
You can set a whole, yeah.
Fat quarters and common cuts.
Common cuts, that's close.
Your ruler's 24, so you need a little running room to get started.
To get to the, what are we trying to pull?
With the fabric.
Pull a yard, right?
Oh,
Okay, so that's 17 people. I only got 17 things. So most people, a lot of mats that are out there are, you heard that, didn't you? Yeah, you caught it. Did you get something yet?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you something for hush money. Yeah, so whew, you got it, good. Okay, so 26 by 38 gives you a yard within your mat. Okay, a lot of the mats out there, like I said, I'm not naming names, don't need to do it, but what they're doing, this is why we're different, because we see and we think outside the box. We're giving you the inside of this mat as the true yard instead of pinning you a 24 by 36 and you're having to fold over. And here's the other thing that y'all do, and you're gonna start laughing when I do this. How many times anybody get to their number and they're doing, okay, that's right there. Okay, they're peeling fabric back to see their numbers. Okay, that means they're trapping you to an edge, or the numbers are on the inside, not the outside. Okay, ours are on the outside, not the inside. All right, so it's 26 by 38, your yard is pulled true. Okay, and then here's another cool feature that we do. We do quad gridding on our mats. Okay, that means we have crosshairs across them. Okay, and instead of having to, when you got a smaller cut to make, instead of having to always pivot off to the edge of the mat like this to see and try to match it down here, the numbers are back in the middle. Okay, so now a 13 and a 13 is a tighter measurement right there. Yeah, I hear you, Jammer. Dang. Just show up when you want to and just get phone calls when you want. No, I'm
I'll
kidding.
put it back on if you want.
But you see, that tighter measurement is better measurement, and this is what we get when what I call a comfort cut. When I can move my ruler any which way I want. You may like to cut kind of on a sideways. A lot of people like to cut straight. You know, you've seen different type of people cut different ways. I sometimes want to cut like this at an angle. I just want to square my body up though. But you're allowed to do that when you have the tools working with you like this, okay? So there's the creature comforts of the mat. We want our mats to be true. We want a self-healing mat, right? So I'm gonna put a 36 right there, and y'all can feel the 24, 36 anytime you want, whenever you want, okay? But we want to be able to self-heal, right? We want a true line that's a laser point line. We want an oversized mat. We want 45 and 60 grids across it. We want a true squaring up grid as you want. But if you use these squares, you don't need this. But we do give you a squaring up block on top of it as well. And it doesn't crack in the cold, it doesn't warp in the heat. All right, here's the key feature of this. Say you go to a class or retreat, and we go do something. We forget some things, right? And I accidentally forget the mat, left it in the car. All right, take shape of the seat or something, right? This is gonna mold around that seat, all right? The only way to fix that is throw it out on a hot day. We had Linda, the one that was sitting next to you,
Yeah.
the table owner, she said that she had done something near similar to that. She just threw it outside on a hot day and it just, the sun absorbed it and then it took care of the warp. So,
What
all
do you
right,
do in New England in January?
you come to Pensacola.
I love to.
Well, I would tell you another way to do it, but it's a bad disclaimer. What I tell everybody, like if it is a cold, like when it's cold up here, you know, it's going to get cold. I would take, personally, this is what I would do. I've done it before. Get some batting and about 4 or 5 layers of fabric and iron it. Okay? Don't iron a section of it that's warped though. So like if it's warped right here, don't just do that. You do the entire board. You want to get this hot, flip it over, do the exact same thing on it, put it on the ground, put a book or something over that area and you're fine. All right? But make sure you have those layers underneath. Other mats are not going to take that. They will warp regardless of what iron touches it. Ours will not because it's made out of a turf material. Similar to AstroTurf. This is the same derivative that makes AstroTurf that is in our mats. Okay? So it's super self-healing and it's super residual. So here we go. You ready? All right, we're gonna go over the main thing now. You ready? You've been ready, okay. Who here knows about our workstations? Okay, yeah, a lot of people in the last light knew about them. Here's what we do. This is where we get fully ergonomic. Now we're about to go over the neck and the back. Our back's probably gonna be our biggest issue that we have when we do anything, cutting, and whatnot. I know I'd had L4, L5 surgery about 8 years ago, so it's a struggle for me to stand up for long periods of time, right? And a lot of people just have that struggle without having those type of issues. So what we do is we cater to the ergonomics in that section. Who here has a good, perfect height table right now, not having this table? Okay, perfect height, perfect height, perfect height? Huh? Yeah, okay. So here's the problem with that. It's a myth. It's a lie. And the reason is this table will never be a perfect height either. All right? And the reason is we cut from A to B. Right? Whether it be 2-inch cut or 44-inch cut or a 60-inch cut, we cut from A to B. That A to B is doing this. What am I doing when I'm leaning over like this? Right? And look at my lean. There's going to be the back, right? But this is my height. This is the height that I like. So if I built this for me or y'all or whatever, and I'm stuck with this height, I'm done. That's going to be a constant backache for me, no matter what, because it is flat. What's the only way to fix it? She said tilt in the back. I got to throw her something. There's scissors, duck. Oh, goodness. Just kidding.
It wasn't
Those that weren't.
Oh,
Sorry. Give her a peace offering. Scissors. Let's roll those back there. Many apologies. Should have caught it though, really. Patriots. All right, here we go. So the only way to fix that, y'all right in the back, is to tilt it, all right? The only way to fix an ergonomic stance is to tilt it towards you, right? So here we go. We're gonna pull this down. And look, I'm gonna stand straight up and what's coming closer to me, right? I'm not leaning, I'm letting this come to me. My mat is flush inside of the table. Okay, it's not sitting on top of a table. All of your mats, if you don't have this table, are sitting on top of it. It has a chance to slide, no matter what. Or you put something underneath it, and now it dips in the middle because you can't just put something underneath it, right? This is gonna stay where it is every time, anytime. And now I've got a perfect ergonomic advantage on my table, right? There's a reason why artists and architects use a drafting table, right? Let's get to that. They're drawing straight lines. What are y'all doing? You're cutting. So what's the difference? Okay, like I always say, they have the money, y'all spend the money. That's exactly what that is. So, but now I've got this. Now I'm fixing your whole posture here. We've already taken care of the shoulders because we're not holding on with any of my tools, right? Nothing will ever slide off when you have our tools, period. Nothing will slide. So when I'm like this and I'm cutting at an advantage, just think about when you're squaring up your projects. That's not our favorite thing to do, okay? So when we're doing that, we're having to do this and we're kind of walking the dog all the way down to cut, right? We want you to use this, and there's a T-square that comes with this workstation. It's not here. I wish they had sent it. I know where it is, though. Every time I look at her, she just... It's right here. Oh, no, it's right here. All right, so imagine this is my project, and this is kind of the... It may be a little bit thicker than that, but who cares? You'll get the gist. So I've got my T-square. It's got a little angle under here that you can do. You can just kind of glide it up on again, so it'll be a true T-square. Plus, it's also got multiple angles for you, so that you can get a 45, a 60 degree, or whatever you want. So, but it's long. It's like 32 inches long. It has a 2.5-inch strip ruler in the middle of it too. So the middle of that tool has a 32-inch strip ruler, so you can cut directly off the bolt if you want, okay? This is my project. You can accordion fold it or just let it flow over. It'll hold the weight of your quilt, and you're gonna cut to the length of your arm, okay? Don't keep chasing it. I don't want you to stay unergonomic. Let the tools do the work. Cut, and let this bring that down back to square one, and then you keep cutting, and you're allowing the tool to bring you down to square one, okay? That's when you get, that's game changing. Like I said, it's not reinventing anything. This is just so much easier, and it's allowing your body to stay a lot, more upright, more healthy, more ergonomic, okay? Last but not least, we'll go get this flat again. Here's where she stresses out. Love you, Carol. Okay, we already can iron on this table. right? We can put an ironing board on there. It will not hurt it. Like, see the ironing board that's in front of the table right here? That's my ironing board. You can absolutely throw that on top of the table without any damage, okay? The mat's made out of turf. It'll take the heat from the ironing board. It won't warp it. All right, so you can throw that on there. So now you've got an ironing situation. You know this is a cutting surface, right? Okay, it's flush, but it can be in any type of surface. What if, like we had a stained glass, right? Take this mat off. Because this is high density polyethylene, HDPE, nothing will stick to it. So if you do paints, arts and crafts, hot glue projects, stained glass was last, paper piecing, scrapbook, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. This is one simple wipe up, okay? My kids have painted on this table 1,000,000 times. You'll never know it because there is not a single drop of it on any of it. All right, so that's the beautiful thing of it. All right, so, but we've ironed on it, we've cut on it. What's the third process when we do in our projects? Sewing, right? So this is a sewing table as well, if you use it. Think about how much space you can create. Ooh, I need this. Oh, and I got a tilt to it. Ah, you're gonna keep this, you're not giving it back, right? Like,
She'll
yeah.
come back for it.
So, who here has ever sewn at a tilt? We're getting near the end and we're about to go look in our books. Oh, you were here last time. She knows. You're gonna come with me everywhere I
It's the
go.
only way I sew.
So, and it's such a beautiful way to sew because even if you don't have the table, the table becomes your tilt, right? It tilts both ways, right? It doesn't tilt this way. That's not giving me enough advantage of a reach. I want the full advantage of the length of the mat. Okay, you want to be able to reach that for squaring up purposes and depth. But setting the sewing machine on here. So here we go. She knows what's going on here. So when you sew, everything that you've been taught in the learning how to sew and what your craft is, right, is to sit down in your chair, get in front of your machine and sew, right? That's it. So what we figured out is, and what you have, see, they make a wedge and there's stuff like that in the industry. No one's ever sewn at a tilt other than, okay. A lot of people, most people are putting books and door stops behind their, so you've heard of that, okay. They're putting door stops under their machines to give it a little lift. What that does is it brings your head up a little bit and it makes you see all 3 points of your needle as well. So it's basically like using your machine like a book, like reading it like a book, right? But it's so much less stress. I've already taken care of your back with the table being able to tilt, right? Now I'm gonna take care of that shoulder shrug because the first thing you do when you get in front of your machine is you kind of squunch, look down into it, and you start working in, right? 10, 15 minutes in, you're feeling, you know what I'm talking about, the little neck and shoulder shrug. When you have a table, oh yeah. What was this?
Biggest fan.
Fan?
Biggest fan.
Fan.
Yeah, but I'm not from where all these guys are from. I'm
No.
somewhere different.
Yeah. You
Real
are.
English.
Real English?
Real English.
Well, first of all, I think between my side and your side, we're not real English anywhere. There's somebody in the middle is, we ain't. That's why we have the best accents. All right, so notice that it's tilted, right? And for your first class, she was, what?
I freaked out.
You remember that, don't you?
Seriously,
Yeah.
I did.
So you sit down in front of your machine, you get to the level you want. You're gonna be different than you. You're gonna be different than her. You're gonna be different than you. I mean, no one's the same. Everybody's tilt's different because everybody's neck structure, their body structure is different, right? So all I want to do is a little bit of pull up so that your focus is forward instead of down. We're trying to get you lifted up, and that is a game changer in this area. Plus, when you have a table, workstation that will lift up and down as well as tilt, it's gonna drop that shoulder down. A lot of us are having to go above because they don't have the right chair or whatever, or their chair doesn't get that way, or it's too low, to whatever it is. The table adjusts to your chair. Okay, so it's gonna be able to drop that shoulder just that, and that's life-changing right there, to be able to get that shoulder shrug down. Now you're comfortable. Here's another thing I want you to start doing if you think about it. I want you to line your shoulder up dead on that feed dog, okay? Not in the middle, all right? I'm much straighter dead on than I am in the middle. It's just like cutting in the middle. It's a no-no. Don't cut in the middle. We want you to cut this way. You stay straighter. So if I can line my shoulder dead on into that feed dog, you're gonna see a lot better area. If you're lefty, try something else. Just being honest. I don't know if that's gonna work. Stay in the middle if you're left. But if you're righty, you got an advantage.
Well, can't the table tilt the other way?
Yeah, sure can.
So why, it'd be better that way for.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, you can't run it the opposite way though. It's always gotta be turned that way.
So the
Yeah,
table can't go
silence.
up this way. So I could put my machine on
Oh,
this
yeah,
side.
yeah, you can turn it.
On this end.
You can put
On
it
this
this
end.
side, this side, this side. Now, this is just one of our tables, okay? This is our shortest table. All right, usually I'm demoing.
On the giant.
Gonna get it.
I love Carol for this. She's just like hiding behind the phone. Usually I demo on the Advantage model that it's about yay big. You've got that one. And it gives you a little extra. What it does is gives you surface area to put your machine on. This is a smaller table. You notice that half of it, it's on the mat a little bit. So the Advantage model, which is 95% of everybody that buy a table, is getting the Advantage model. Okay, unless you're Linda, you're getting both big dogs. Gotta call you out. You're a big time groupie, so. We're like the Rolling Stones, and she's our biggest fan. All right, so,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, we're like
I sit
Kenny
outside.
Chesney.
I sit outside his door.
What? You don't like Kenny? He loves Boston. Who doesn't like Kenny Chesney? Jeez, the door's that way.
Not my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
I mean, out of country people?
Yeah, that's why I'm from the redneck Riviera. Primarily lives in the country.
Blake is nice.
Sorry, my dog's
I
in the
love
truck
Blake.
and I'm going to the bar and get,
Yeah.
that's what I listen to.
Okay. That's the guy.
Who?
Blake Shelton.
Oh, I love Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Blake, we'll call it, sorry, Blake Shelton, everybody.
Alan Jackson.
Hey,
Alan Jackson.
somebody in the back. I like old AJ. Okay, so here's what we've done, right? So all we've done is create a world of an ergonomic environment, okay? Whether we're cutting, whether we're ironing, whether we're sitting, whether we're standing, whether we're tilting, all right? Whether we're doing quilting, whether we're doing sewing, whether we're doing whatever we want to do, whatever art or craft you're going to do, you're going to do it. Oh, I need to mention the who here free motion quilts? Likes the free motion or would like to learn how to free motion just on a domestic?
Like to learn.
Okay. I miss you already. Okay, so the beauty about this is it's gonna raise up and down, right? All right, so this is gonna provide, look, I'm free motioning now, okay? I'm not good at it, but at least I'm getting the chance to do it, but I'm doing it with my tools and this is giving me an option. There's a big thing, okay? It's a small word, right? Options. This is a world of them, all right? So I'm gonna tilt my table to me. And all I need to have is just a flat little area around your machine, right? What do you call those things? The little flat plates?
So steady table?
So steady, yeah, a little so steady. So, and
Actually, I have one for that one right there.
It's
Okay.
black, it matches.
Yeah, we'll just do this. Imagine there's the plate on there. Oh, crap. All right, so does anybody have these hoops? Man, we had that last customer, the last customer. Oh my gosh, I use them every day. They're awesome. They'll hold the weight of any size quilt, right? But now you're just kind of like driving a car, like a steering wheel underneath this because it's holding and it's keeping everything in the middle taut. So we're the manufacturer. If you've ever seen Bernina, they have red. You've ever seen Brother? We'd make them in blue for Brother. Maybe think about that. Nah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, no.
Just get these. Because we're the manufacturer, these are a lot cheaper. So, but Bernina slaps their name on it and says, hey, look what we do. Martelli does them in Little Pensacola, Florida for Bernina, big dog. But we're patenting these, so they can't take them, but they're the best on the market, okay? And so when you can do that, it gives you an option to free motion quilt on any machine, right? So that's a unique advantage there. So that's what I'm saying. It gives you a regular sewing option, standing option, tilting, ironing, cutting, anything you want. That's why we kind of built this for what it is. It gives you tons of opportunity. But here's another thing. It's not cluttering anything. Because if this is what I'm working on and that's my centerpiece, isn't it creating space with all it can do? Right? I mean, you can repurpose some other things that are in there when you have something like this. I don't ever like to say give it away or throw away or anything. Just repurpose it somewhere, right? All right, everybody got a book, right? We're about to get to the fun part. We're gonna see how good you are. Everybody got a pen?
No.
I need these pens back. Oh gosh. Look at the double connection there. Who needs pens?
To the eye.
All right, we're good. All right.
Do you have any more books?
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. Questions.
I saw you on YouTube talking about the mat that the machine is sitting on.
Yeah, oh, yeah, okay.
You're talking about the vibration of the machine.
Absolutely.
and-
Good
So
question.
can you tell
So
me a little
this
bit
is
more?
the machine pad that you see the
Yeah.
featherweight on, right? Wonderful question. The reason why it doesn't fall off is because it's double-sided of the grip that you saw on all of the tools, right? It's just double-sided, and it's not going to let anything fall off. It's like it's bolted in. Another great feature of it, like she was mentioning, is it eliminates vibration in the machine. So think about that. If you've got one of your newer machines, okay, you know how expensive our machines are, and they're quality, so we want to make sure they're running correct. The less vibration that goes on inside that chaos of stuff that's going on inside the machine, I want less vibration, less times it's going to mess up or go into the shop or anything like that. So you want to keep that thing on a little to no vibration as possible, especially with like older machines like the featherweight right here. A lot of them are missing some of their feet on the bottom, or some of the feet have rubbed off, so they're a little off center and they want to jog off on you. This will keep that from doing anything. It dampens all that. That's a great question. Actually, it wasn't even a question. It was a great statement.
Do those come in different sizes?
Yes,
Like-
they do.
Okay.
Because we're the manufacturer, if you have a certain one that you need cut directly for your machine, like with an embroidery attachment or with it,
Yeah.
just give us the specs and we'll cut that down for you. And it'll be, for whatever charge that is. Yeah, so.
When you do the tables, do you do specialty like lamps with them? Because I actually find my kitchen at 2 in the morning is not bright enough, so I have to put an additional lamp on my table so I can see my kitchen table.
Well, you should have been here for, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do something for you. This right here, yeah, and that's yours too.
That's not mine, but you can, remember I told you?
Oh, okay. So this is an LED light, okay? It's fantastic. I have customers that have 5, 6, 7 of these around their rooms, okay? Remote control, warming and cooling, okay? Brightness and lower. It has tons of different settings, different color lights. This is fantastic, okay? And it doesn't have to be for sewing and quilting. It can be for anything. If you just want an area lit up, and I think that's what you're saying, if you need it lit up like a Christmas tree, that's it.
Carol can tell you I do like 1,000 projects, different crafts, and at 2 in the morning you can't get bright enough.
When you said you could iron on that mat, including one of these.
No, good. Thank you for saying that. And you know what, let's just say, let's not iron on this mat unless absolutely have to, you warped it or something like that. Okay, let's not iron on the mat.
No, but I thought you said you could put that board on.
Yeah, oh yeah, once you put the board on,
But you can't put one of these.
no, okay, so great question, and I'm glad you answered. The first class didn't ask this. Good job.
Okay. Because I warped the
You,
one I have.
you redeemed
I
yourself.
warped the one I have by doing that.
Wool, okay? Everybody knows wool, right? Fantastic. Especially ours. Ours are compressed tighter than most, okay? The tighter compression, the more heat is retained. So the differences in a wool mat and an ironing board, we know the differences, right? Ironing boards are supposed to bounce back heat. These are retaining heat so that you can it'll to retain the heat longer, crisp ironing, yeah.
So
You weren't ready for that.
what? No, I wasn't.
So,
what would you
but
have to
do
put in
not
this?
iron do not put a wool mat on top of a mat.
So if it was on this thing,
Yeah, if it's on that, then you're good to go.
okay.
Yep. Just don't put it on a mat, okay? It's just not, it's too hot. It's way too hot. And that's why they're fantastic though, because they get way hot. Okay, are we ready? Everybody got a book? This is the fun part. We finally got to it.